Welcome to TGAG.
TGAG. Just two girls in a galaxy where we talk about everything that we can't on TikTok. It's super fun here.
Yes.
If you guys don't know me, I'm Chelsea, aka Ochelia on TikTok.
I'm Lina, aka ASTROLOGY on TikTok.
And we finally decided to collab and make some videos that we could get out to you without community guidelines, because we're not about that shit. And here we are now.
Yes, I can't have any more.
No more. I'm sick of my videos getting taken down. I just want to spread the word about Mars and sex, and I can't do that on TikTok. And you for sure can't. You can't do that.
I can't.
They're watching you like a hawk. Today we're going to be talking about compatibility.
My favorite. Ooh, they have some interesting stuff happening. Excited.
I am too. I'm so excited. I think we talked about maybe going over how you can apply compatibility within your relationship, and then maybe we can look at some celebrities.
I'm so sorry. Like, this is why I don't have friends. They want to talk all the time.
Listen, they already know what they're getting if they're clicking on the video. Okay, this is raw. This is real. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry, but why are you following us? Really?
Yeah, you've been following us long enough to know this is exactly what
yes, exactly. Okay. Now let's see. Where do we want to start?
I guess the basics would be cool, because I know that maybe I don't want to like just dive in and be like, so let's talk about how this, I guess what we're looking for, what they even mean, like moon, Venus, what they represent would probably be a good place to start so that we can catch everybody up.
That's a great idea, because I think a lot of people think that if your suns and your moons are not compatible, then it's not going to work. And that's like the biggest joke in astrology. It's like sun astrology is ridiculous, especially involving relationships. There's so many other things to look at when you're looking at relationships. But sun and moon compatibility is good. So typically, I mean, Lina's a lot better at this than me, but when I'm looking at sun moon just as a generic expression of like how it might work or the tendency, I obviously want to see like fire and air together in the sun and moon, and I want to see water and earth together. Like that's like a good indicator for the tone. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. So I'm going to do like basics. So what Chelsea's talking about is aspects. So when planets are like sextiling each other, or the signs are trining each other, so in the same element, so air, fire, water, earth, that's a trine. That's comfortable. It's like you just kind of get each other. If it's a sextile, there's a little bit of work that has to be done, but you're still nourishing each other, because it's water feeds, the earth, oxygen, air needs fire, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what we're talking about when we mean like the elements and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It does help. One thing I do want to point out too is like some people low-key like fucked up relationships.
I was about to say, I was like, if you've got an Aquarius and they're with an Aquarius sun with like a Pisces sun, like they're gonna fuck with them hard. And sometimes, speaking from myself, that's a good time. Okay, it's a good time. Is it long lasting? Maybe not, but it's still fun. Okay. So like strengths and weaknesses, all right, it is.
I mean, is it gonna send me to therapy? Sure. But
if we're Lina's scorned. But there's a lot more to it than just like the sun element aspect of it. And like a little bit of tension is good in the relationship, depending on the sign, like she's saying, because some signs, especially signs that are like ruled by logic, which is all of the air signs, they need to be challenged. So sometimes a challenging aspect, it might delay the development of the relationship, but sometimes it like creates the tough skin that a relationship needs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is easily going to turn into like an 8-hour conversation.
I know we've got to keep ourselves on
track. But it's true, because now we're going into like when you talk about like hard aspects, like Saturn will do that, right? Like if you see like a hard aspect in a composite chart with Saturn, now we're getting more advanced stuff. But like it doesn't always mean that it's not going to happen. It just means that there's stuff that's going to be thrown in the relationship where it's like, do you really want this to work? Because like it's
exactly. It's like, what are you willing to put up with the other partner? And so if you're trying to look at your compatibility within your relationship, there's other things you need to pay attention to, because everything's going to have strengths and everything is going to have weaknesses no matter what. Like there's no perfect compatible chart. So like some of the things that you can probably look for if you're like thinking about, okay, well, our suns and moons are not compatible, but we have all of these really strong conjunctions within our personal planets. And that's going to be like the glue that holds your relationship together, because it's like where you can put a lot of your shared focus into, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Especially when it's, like I said, some people have charts where they naturally prefer the energy. Like if they have like a 7th house Mars, or they have like a 5th house, like where it's something that makes them prefer like the combative kind of relationships. And those people they're not going to be scared of being in a relationship or like a sun square moon. It's stuff where it gets a little more challenging.
Exactly.
I have that, so I don't necessarily.
I have that, so I like to fight. Okay.
I have a 7th house Aries moon, which is not
there
cute.
you go. See, we love it. It's also sexy. And since we're on the topic of Mars, we should like cover, because that's my favorite part of compatibility is Mars.
Okay. Do you want to do planet by planet?
Yeah, we might as well. Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay.
We're like, guys, this is very new for us. You should see us like an hour beforehand, just like going off of each other. And then we get here, we're like, you do it, bitch. I love because I am a fucking like dry person. I'm very vanilla. Okay. So I like to think of Mars as like the way somebody takes action. So I'm going to talk about the PG things, and then maybe Lina can talk about the sexy stuff, because I literally will start blushing. I can't take it. We're so different.
I will try to keep it cute.
No, you don't have to keep it cute here. That's the point. So I like to look at the Mars placement, and especially even like just to the most simple terms. If you're just looking at your chart and your partner's chart, and you are seeing that you have a Mars, let's just say in I don't know, or let's say you have a Mars sitting in like Aquarius, and then your partner has a Mars sitting in Aries. Well, those are two very different ways that you're taking action within your relationship, meaning like the person who has the Mars Aquarius might need a logic when they are going into like fight or flight mode with you. If they are trying to like have a conversation with you, rather like an argument, because that's what Mars starts to like come out with in the relationship, then you might need to take this very logical and practical approach, but it also gives you a very fixed position that you sometimes can't get around. Whereas the other person with the Mars, what did I say that's sitting in? Aries. Yeah. And the person that has an Aries is very reactive. Like they just automatically, they're like, okay, well, we have this problem. I want to work through it. Like they take immediate action, but that's not necessarily the case for the Aquarius Mars. So I think what's important when you're looking at the compatibility that is so different is that you both list out, okay, how do we take action in the relationship, and how can we work through that? Like you think that you need to take immediate action, but I need some space first. And I don't want to I want to sit and think on things. So you have to make a basic list of needs before you actually, decide if it's going to work or not. That's the whole point of compatibility.
That's so interesting too, especially because both of those Mars are ruled by malefics.
Exactly.
So Aries Mars is ruled by Mars, and a Saturn, I use traditional rulerships because I feel like they're most accurate. Aquarius Mars is ruled by Saturn. So like you said, you have these two, like, Aries Mars is like, what's the problem? I want to fix it right now. And Aquarius Mars is like, I need to strategize. I have to like figure out what we're doing. And in that air sign Saturnian kind of way where they're still using their brain. So that's usually why like it's a sexy like sex style, because they're both in there, but they both have very different styles. And that's why, like you said, it's so much deeper than just like, oh, I'm a Libra, they're a Libra, are we compatible? Because you have a whole, like, we both people have completely other charts that have so much more to say.
Exactly.
So real quick before we even I want to show them what a synastry chart looks like.
Oh yes.
I feel like some people are like, I don't know what I'm looking at.
And it's really, while she's pulling that up, it is totally possible to view your synastry without pulling up what we call a composite chart or a Davison chart. You can just put your charts side by side and view them individually and just kind of see where things line up. It is totally possible if the composite chart makes you a little bit confused. I think that the composite chart is a great way to view the relationship as a unit. But if you're interested in like, it's a brand new relationship and you just kind of want to see where you are on personal levels and whether that will mesh, it's still a good idea to look at them individually. And so Lina and I both have separate ways to look at it. And so you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Also, so real quick, I want to make the distinction between synastry is your day-to-day, like how you interact with each other on a day-to-day basis. The composite chart is the chart of the relationship itself as a separate entity of the two people. So, and then composite and Davison are different. So Davison actually gives you, like, it takes the two the midpoint of everything. So the times, the birthdays, the coordinates, and it cuts it. It divides it, and then it gives you like an actual, and it's cool because Davison actually gives you like a birthday and a time and coordinates for the chart, so you can run transits again. It's a whole thing. Sorry, you can run transits against it, and you can see your chart in real time to see what transits are hitting, like what planets are like activating your relationship at the time. So that's pretty badass, but that is for a different video.
Oh, yes. Yes. We got too complex. I always forget because our followers have such a good astrological knowledge base. And it's like, I want to make sure it's good for everybody, but it's so hard to like break that mode.
Right. Because I feel like I've been talking to a lot of them now for like the people who are buying this video are probably, I've been talking to you for like a year and a half now. Hi. If you don't know if you don't know what Venus is by now, bitch.
Get log off. I'll refund you myself. It's fine. Like 100 emails. I don't know what Venus is actually.
Let me get Travis Barker's chart up real quick. Actually, I want to do him and Kourtney just because theirs are accurate. And I also have a crush on Travis Barker.
I also love him. I'm also in love with him as well.
Yeah. He's my first celebrity crush. Who's your first celebrity crush?
It's Orlando Bloom. I can't. Yeah, I know. Very stereotypical, but I can't help it. I would do nasty things. Nasty.
How nasty?
No. Vanilla, remember? I'm vanilla.
90. What's his? Do you know? That should be an episode that we do. We do our synastry with our celebrity crush.
That's such a good idea. Me has synastry with no one because of you have a massive stellium too. You've got a big stellium.
Do I?
Well, I guess with the asteroids in your chart.
Yeah, with Chiron.
Poor Chiron.
That's not what I wanted. So much for being ready.
Are you looking it up right now?
Yeah, I'm looking up Kourtney's first.
Lord.
3:15 a.m. I think it's cool. You can tell when people I can tell when people were born at night or the day.
You really can. I mean, you truly can. I also am very curious to know when people were born and what time, because everybody kind of wakes up at a very familiar and like the same time every night sometimes. And I'm like, I wonder if it has something to do with the time that you were born, or like when you feel the most activated during the day, if your birth time has something to do with that. I wish there was some type of research on it because I would love to know.
There's one astrologer who did a series on like how your rising sign affects how you wake up in the morning. I'll send you that link. It was really cool.
Really? I want to see it.
Hi, Alyssa. Let's do the divine Venus.
I'm a Sag rising, and you would think that I would be able to like get it going, but I fucking nope. Takes me hours.
What's your Mars looking like?
Oh my God, not great.
That's why mine same. I feel that. Cool. So I pulled up Kourtney and Travis's chart because we're gonna look at ASAP Rocky and Rihanna's charts, but we don't have an accurate birth time for ASAP Rocky.
Yeah, we're gonna try to guess his ascendant live. Wait, this isn't live. Recorded.
Okay, let me see. I'm
not laughing.
It's not connected to anything. I just
want to feel famous. Live your life, honey. Do it. This is your only opportunity. This might not work out. Let's go. Get your moment.
Haven't learned shit. Okay, let me share my screen.
Please share your screen so the people can see.
All right. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. You're good. You're good to go.
Okay. So this is a synastry chart. So this is, let me actually clear it up so it doesn't look so crazy.
Yeah.
Because I put it, I'm desperate for answers sometimes. So I'll display every single thing. I want to see everything.
Oh my God.
I want to see everything. Okay,
I want to see how the Junos interact.
Literally, I'm like, you're going to give me everything. Okay. Who was calling me? You can't actually.
Hold on, I can pause it.
No, I just want to be like, what's happening right now? He's calling you. Mom, like, what is happening? Okay,
Hey, let's pause it for a minute and you get whatever you need done real quick.
Okay, so can we just like come back?
Yeah. No, I can pause the reading. Just a couple of moms. Now that the kids are asleep.
You rub melatonin on their gums.
Melatonin on their gums. Please, God, stay down. It's so funny because Lina's child just went to sleep and mine slept for 3 hours and now she's awake at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. So yay. We love it. Oh God. Do you want to talk about Travis Barker's chart or do you want to go over the planets really quick and get into that?
Let's do the planets real quick just for our lovely friends who are new to this.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny if you're like that new to this that you're jumping into like love astrology videos before you know the basics. That's totally fine. That's how I started. That's how I became a professional full-time astrologer. Was like, this motherfucker was pissing me off, and I was like,
I just need to know why.
Exactly. That's how I got into it full time. So it's okay. But let's run real quick what the planets do, like how they show up in relationships, just so like if you're new to this, we're gonna catch you up. So the sun in anyone's chart, the big three is the most important. It's your ascendant, your sun, and your moon. The sun and moon are not planets, they're luminaries. Loom as in illuminate, because they give light. So the sun is like your outer light. It's how you show your outer expression, your ego, your pride, your creativity. Your moon is the inner light. So this is something that's really internal. That's why the moon is considered one of the most important planets in compatibility, because if you have really good Mars, and you have great sex, if you have good Venus, like they bring you flowers and they bring you chocolates, but you don't have a good moon where you can't sit down and talk about your feelings and you can't connect on an emotional level, it's not really going to go very far. Mercury is how you communicate. So these are actually some of the most underrated aspects.
For sure. Mercury is so important when you're looking at compatibility, because you cannot have a good relationship and a long-lasting relationship if you do not know how to communicate and you don't understand how the other person communicates. It's completely vital, and it's probably one of the first things that you should look at in a compatibility chart, because you guys can have a different ego center and an emotional processing center, but the way that you communicate it is going to be the deciding factor of whether it's going to work or not.
100%. Yeah. Venus. So Venus compatibility, of course, this is your love planet. This is your relationship style. Do they chase? Are they receptive? Are they more aggressive in the relationship? Are they the one who kind of, the styles of love and how you show up in this relationship and what you value with each other? Exactly. Is going to be really important. And
I've also found that it is a really good indicator of the overall tone of your long-term relationship. Like if it's sitting in a really beneficial sign or one that's pretty chill, like the tone of the relationship is going to be pretty chill. It's a good indicator for that. And it's also really good for how you connect with the other person, because if Venus is the representation of marriage, then it's how you connect within your marriage. It's how you place value on your marriage. Is it the most important one, or is it one that like you need a little bit of independence and separation? Like if your Venus is an Aquarius.
Yeah. And it also, because Venus, And don't come in my comment section with this bullshit. I know more.
Oh God. You can say it here. It's fine.
Venus also rules over money. And it has been a fight in my comment section for like months. I'm like, stop yelling at me.
Yeah, my favorite is when I tell people, I'm like, well, you can kind of tell if they're the one, because all of a sudden, if your Venus and your income starts to light up, it's like a neon sign from the universe, like, hey, I'm trying to show you you're making money, your Venus is lighting up, so it's probably like a good situation that you are in right now. So it's like a weird, like, universal sign that it can send you.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That's really interesting. Because I was gonna say is that you can see in a composite, even in a synastry, you can see how you guys make money together, or how somebody affects your income, or how somebody affects your financial status, which is another reason why I got into astrology. Mars, which Chelsea is so fond of.
God, I hate Mars. I shouldn't hate Mars. My partner is a fucking Aries sun, so like,
oh my God. Wait, you're Sag rising, so his sun falls in your 5th house.
I know. I don't want to talk about it. It is fun though, but I'm sorry, we're getting too complicated. Continue.
What is your Mars in?
Girl, I don't want to talk about my chart about
yes. Okay, fine. We'll talk about it off camera, whatever. Mine is, I don't care. Mine's in Gemini. I'm not like, what are you gonna do about it? You don't even know what the planets mean.
He needs a little comedy in the bedroom, okay?
No, I'm not gonna drag them. I'm not gonna drag them for okay, shut. So Mars is so it also is how you have sex, but it's also how you fight. So if you have like hard Mars aspects, like me and my boo have Mars square Mars. It's tough.
It's tough out here.
Yeah, tough out here. But if you have a good Mars, like if you have like Mars Jupiter, Mars Uranus, it's good sex. So it'll show me the kind of sex that you two are having, how your fights are going to be, you know, if someone is going to be the aggressor, if someone's going to be somebody who's more passive. So
yeah, okay, look, I'll just be honest. My Mars is in Capricorn. It is a business transaction, okay?
like, pay me right.
Yes. Okay.
I check. One thing I will say about Saturn ruled Mars placements like Aquarius and Capricorn is they can they do like edging a little bit.
Oh my God.
They also don't mind like they don't mind waiting. Like you're not pressed to have it. Like you can abstain for a long time.
Yeah, it's gotta bring value. That's the whole thing about when you have a Mars sign in an Earth. When you have Mars in an Earth sign, it's like if it's not valuable to you or like your well-being, it's not gonna happen. Okay, like what do you bring into the table, bitch? Like what? You tell me.
You're like, I am the table, motherfucker.
I am the table. Get on it.
Jupiter isn't really a super sexy planet in astrology. It's more fun. I mean, in compatibility, it's more fun. It'll show if you have fun together, but it's not really gonna show me anything.
It's like a reward system. It can give some good indication about like love language on the level of, okay, how does this person want to be rewarded for their good actions? Like how are they fulfilled within the relationship? Because it is so like far reaching within it. And if you're spending a lot of time together, like it's important to learn how to reward the other person. That's basically what Jupiter does within a compatibility chart.
Yeah, and it's really cute. It's good. Jupiter is like Venus. Jupiter is like you just have a really good time together, spend a lot of money together. Mars Jupiter is having a lot of sex together. Taking sometimes if you have a hard Mars Jupiter like in a composite, this could even in a natal chart, it can mean people who take sexual risks, like just not great ones, but they take the risk. Like it's a square, so the energy is not really being used in the most constructive way. Right. So these are the ones who like just go wild. So
right. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Like, it's like big and expansive. It's like the possibilities are endless. So sometimes it's like, it's not super important, but it is important when you're trying to understand, okay, like, how is this area of our relationship such a focal point? And it's probably because Jupiter is sitting over there, like trying to like show you like as a neon sign, kind of like Venus.
Yeah. That's really interesting. Yeah. I gotta look at it like that too.
Thank you. I am very interesting.
Duh, bitch. What are you talking about?
There was my chart, bitch. I know all about him.
Okay, so Saturn is one of the ones I think is really important in synastry, because this is one of the karmic planets, and this is going to show if the relationship is going to last or not. So if I see even hard Saturn, it sucks. It's not super fun, but it's going to, usually there's some kind of like karmic bind or some kind of tie that you have to work through when you have Saturn.
For sure. Yeah. And Saturn is a great indicator. Now I don't know about the composite because I don't use composites, but if you're looking at just kind of your Saturns in similar houses, or like maybe even Saturn, how it's connecting to one another, you can see some of the obstacles that you might face. It's not as intense in the composite chart or in really just compatibility charts in general, in terms of like I'm sorry, like Mars is a little bit more of that energy, but Saturn still brings it on a, like you said, like on a karmic level, and it can show you how fast or how slow the relationship might develop.
Yeah. So if we actually want to talk about speed, we would be looking at Uranus. So Uranus is going to show me how fast the relationship is going to.
Yeah. Whereas Saturn is more like developmentally, like how fast it's going to, not how fast it's going to develop, but like the areas of life that might take a little bit longer. That's the Saturn, Mars, Uranus stuff all in a nutshell. It's like those three those will give you your answers.
So Neptune is, and before I even we even do it, I'm just going to say reading two people's charts separately before we even pop open a synastry chart. Just like if you're watching this as someone who's learning, you need to do that first, because you're not even going to even know what you're looking at until you look at both of them apart before you put them in the pot and you mix them all together. So for example, like if you see someone had like Neptune, right? It's not a personal planet, but if you look at someone and they have really hard, like a Venus Neptune opposition in their own chart, that's really important, because these are the people who cannot be talked out of anything. Like they are so delusional. They're so thick in that like Neptune fog. So that's why it's important when I do synastry readings for people that I'm like, oh, fuck, she has a Venus, that I'm not going to sit here and waste my breath, because
exactly. Yeah, Neptune is just like, it has its head up in the clouds. It's naturally ruling over the 12th house, so it's not even connected to the earth. So like when you're seeing what house your partner's Neptune is in, that's the area of life that you're probably just not going to even want to touch. Like, and you're just going to need to understand that that's just how they're always going to be, like in that area of life.
He has it when he has
Lord, here we go.
When he has a 7th house Neptune in Uranus.
Right. Yeah, that shit is not coming back down to earth. Okay. That's not going to happen. But also another side of Neptune, because everything has like positive manifestations and negative manifestations. So if it is like having some trines forming to it within your charts, it could be a really inspirational relationship, because it does rule over like inspirations and dreams and aspirations. So it can be a good thing. So you don't need to freak out if you see like Neptune poorly aspected. You just need to understand that how to work around it and like allow the positive things to come to fruition rather than the negative things.
I'm trying to fix my lighting. Sorry, I'm listening.
She's in the spotlight.
So washed out. Yeah. So that's actually great what you said, because it's true. Like there is like that delusional like side of Neptune where it's like they're perfect, I can't see, there are no red flags, rose class. But there's also, like you said, like trine sextiles. Good Neptune is like, this is why Pisces, Venus does so well in Pisces, which is the modern ruler, is ruled by Neptune now, because Pisces demands that unconditional, like soul binding, spiritual, transcend time and space kind of love. Exactly. That's why Virgo is debilitated, because Virgo's like, what the fuck are you even talking about?
What? Can I just like go out to my garden? Like, I don't understand why you can't come with me. And he's just like, no, man, I just need to meditate. Okay. Trying to connect with my higher self.
Like, yeah, but we have to open a PO box and a bank account. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, you go do that.
But yeah, there's good Neptune, which makes you like delusional. I mean, there's like tough Neptune, which makes you kind of like crazy delusional. Like there's what red flags, I don't know. And then the good kind that really makes you spiritual and all that transcendence and stuff. Right. Pluto is super hot, sexy. It's my favorite planet in synastry.
Me too. I love it. It's so like volcanic and intense. And it's all about like that. I just made a TikTok about this today, and someone was like, I thought it was a bad omen. And I'm like, well, if you think that change is an omen, I guess it is. But it's like great. It's also about like the death of your past self in order to grow into that Neptunian higher self. So it's super important in the synastry chart.
It's so hot. I think sometimes Saturn is a little more, I mean, Pluto can be a little more binding than Saturn.
I agree. Yeah. Cause it's like, it's that big generational karma that you are trying to overcome. And it's like, you've got a partner that has to overcome it too. So it can feel like a really heavy weight in your relationship if you don't fully understand why it is where it is.
Ooh, how sinister. We're just now covering the planet. I'm having so much fun. We're just
I know this is such a good idea. I don't know why we waited so long to do it.
I don't know, because this is what the universe is like. Let's make this bitch more broke so that she actually does something about it.
To survive. And also, guys, thank you so much if you've bought this video. If you're viewing it, you've obviously purchased it. We didn't want to have to put this behind like a price wall, but we want to provide like content for you guys. And we know that other people are scamming other people. And so we're trying to put it at an affordable price, but we still like want to make a living on it. And the more that we make, the more content we can put out for free. So
actually, that is a good point. Yeah. That's actually a good point. Like the more, because once I was able to like I was able to like work around the prices of stuff, because as you know, it's business. We're business women.
It's just women.
We
are business women.
All right, that's enough for me. I don't know.
It's gonna be fine.
Okay, the nodes are super. I think you might be able to touch on the nodes a little more.
So the north, especially the north node, and we'll look more at the north node because I like to be respectful of other people's spiritual belief systems, and sometimes the south node can give indication about like past lives. So I don't like to look at it too heavily in a synastry chart or just talking about anybody's placement overall. But the north node is the north node of the moon. And basically it is something within this lifetime that you want to conquer, that you want to accomplish. And so when you're looking at it, first of all, in your chart, that's the area of life that you will probably have a lot of, it's kind of like Mars. It's kind of like where you put a lot of energy, a lot of focus, but it is also about like future growth. And so when you're applying it to some type of compatibility, it's kind of like the direction that your relationship wants to be moving into in the future. But it can become kind of an obsessive state. So you have to be very careful when you're looking at it and be like, oh my gosh, we're going to work super hard. Like if it's sitting in the fourth house, it's like building a great family structure. But if it is not sitting in a great zodiac sign, or if it is heavily aspected by like squares or oppositions, sometimes that area of life can become an obsessive and jealous area of your life. So you have to be careful about understanding what the energy is and working around it and being like, okay, this is what we're focused on, but we have to balance in the other areas of our charts.
Yeah. And the nodes and compatibility are really cute because when you have like personal planets, I don't know if you can't see it here on this chart, I'll show you somewhere else, but when you have nodes touching planets like Venus conjunct the north node or something like that, I'm not gonna put him out there, but a man who's been absolutely obsessed with him. Can you stop?
Sir, we're trying to record.
What's wrong with you?
Riding your motorcycle in a come on
fucking Honda Civic that you bought like at Rick Case Honda, like everything.
Honda Civic.
Not a fucking Accord. Like, come on, bro. Chill out. Whatever. We love Honda Civics. Don't unfollow us.
I do love Honda Civic. I think William had a Honda Civic when he was younger.
That's hot.
So hot.
He had a car, so he was already.
He had a car. So let me
the nodes, when they're touching like the nodes, like if you have your Venus conjunct someone's north node or whatever, the Venus person can just feel like they need a lot more of what the north node person is giving them. Like they become almost kind of a little bit obsessed because they feel like the north node person is able to help them fulfill the Venus stuff. So money, love, luxury, you know, the good feelings that Venus brings you, the romance.
Yeah.
So it can cause a little bit of obsession because the north node is what we want more of, or what we're kind of trying to get more of. It's the head of the dragon, and you know, the south node is the tail of the dragon. So it's like what we're releasing. So sometimes when you have heavy south node stuff in your relationships, it can feel like these things kind of keep you stagnant because it's so comfortable that it just keeps you in this energy that you're so used to working with. So that can happen sometimes too.
Yeah, it's very natural energy. The South Node is really heavy indications of karmic past, but like she's saying, in a synastry chart, it can give some indications of like what you're just naturally good at or what you naturally fall into, which isn't always the best, because if you're falling into old habits, you're not like trying to have progress within your relationship. So you have to like pay attention to that as well, huh, Lena?
Now my Mars and South Node conjunct my fucking birth chart.
And I want, and I'm sure everyone here is pretty well versed in the conjunction and why it is so important. But if you are not, I just want you guys to understand that conjunctions happen when a planet and another planet or another fixed point get really, really close together, and it intensifies and amplifies the energy. So if the planet is not super cozy and in a really fun sign, it can be really, really intense. So any conjunction can have good outcomes and bad outcomes. It just depends on what planets are involved.
I'm trying to show them what a conjunction would look like on an actual chart.
On a chart.
Yeah. I think they have Mars and Saturn conjunct right here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can see how they have it right there.
Yeah, so that's Mars right here, this little guy. And then that 5 right here is Saturn. So when you're looking at synastry charts, you have one person on the outside in one color and then one person on the inside in a different color.
Yep.
And that's you can kind of tell what we're looking at. So if you're new to this, don't even get scared. Like this still takes me a while. So
yeah. If you see clusters of planets and they're different colors, it means that they're conjunct.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So that's exactly what that, like, you don't have to complicate it too much. If you see all of them sitting together like this, that means they're conjunct. So conjunct. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say, and don't be like scared when you see everything and you're like, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to combine all these energies? Like the way that I started out when I was like trying to understand what conjunctions were and how to like blend the energies is just writing out the planets and like their major focuses all right next to each other and being like, okay, now literally just combine them all in one. And just like seeing that energy is not 3 separate energies, but it's a blend of all of them. And that's why it is so intense. So just like individually pick out what they're about and then combine those things together. It's kind of like a first, middle, and last name. It's still the same name, but they're 3 different names in the same person, you know?
Right. Yeah, actually that makes a lot of sense. I like that.
Thanks, Lena. I love it when you compliment me. My Mars is in Capricorn.
Then we have these 2. These are asteroids. They're not super like important. I mean, they are important. They actually do show you a lot. But I have a theory that once you start adding a lot of asteroids and stuff, that it starts to get a little repetitive and you're just telling the same story over and over.
It's too complicated.
So just real quick, Lilith is super hot and sexy. If you see Lilith in synastry, it's very, very hot. It's also very much like, I want you, I can't stand you, but I'm going to have you, but nobody can have you, but I need you, but nobody.
Yes.
And then Chiron, Chiron deserves its own class, to be honest. Chiron is considered by Magi astrologers to be a soulmate asteroid. So if you see heavy Chiron in charts, and I highly subscribe to that theory, because there is nothing that will fucking tear you open and heal you more than love. So.
Yeah, for sure. I think Chiron is so important. It's the wounded healer, guys. So basically its function within your own chart individually is to provide you wounds in order to heal your spirit, but also in an earthly application, it is the way that you can provide healing to other people depending on what house it is in. So when you're looking at like your charts compared to each other, if you have your Chiron sitting on top of somebody else's, like let's just say 7th house, you are providing them healing within the long-term relationship. Like that is your function as their healer. So it's very important.
Yeah. And it's really interesting when you have, like, I personally was in a relationship, still in it, where we have like really kind of interesting Chiron stuff. We have Moon square Chiron and Venus square Chiron, which is not great. It's really painful, but it's it's a lot. It'll teach you a lot about your self-worth and about, you know,
it's necessary.
Yeah, it's a lot, but it's interesting.
I think that's a pretty good synopsis of the planets. I think sometimes for people to learn is best in like real world applications. Do you want to show them some maybe synastry charts, or I can show them? It's up to you. You already have one up on the screen, so we can go ahead and start talking about it. Or is there anything else you think we should cover?
Real quick. Yeah, this is Kourtney and Travis. If you've been following me for a long time, you know that this was going to come up at some point.
Okay, cool. Okay.
So this is Kourtney and Travis. So Kourtney is blue and Travis. So Kourtney's on the inside. So like I said earlier, this is how they set up a synastry chart where they put one person on the inside. So Kourtney's blue and they put Travis on the outside. Mm-hmm. I'm using astroseek.com because I think it's the easiest, most accessible website for everyone to see.
Yeah, you guys can pull up your own synastry with your partners on this for free. It's completely free to pull it up.
Yeah, it's completely free. And this is honestly the website for beginners that I highly recommend. It's super accurate and it gives like everything. Like, look at this. Like, come on.
Yeah. That's a great learning tool.
Great learning tool. So one thing that I want to talk about real quick are the aspects. So we talked about a conjunction, which is a conjunction is when two planets are in the same sign, but when they have to be, well, it depends, because in Vedic, I know that if they're just in the same sign, it's considered a conjunction. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, it's very simple terms there, but they also have very traditional views about partnerships. So I wouldn't recommend looking at synastry charts in that aspect. So
and also real quick, this is an LGBT cutie friendly space.
Yes.
I definitely like my boyfriends. Sorry. I'm sorry.
No, you're not. Let's put that out there. Yeah, you can. And yeah, everyone, I literally was trying to address this today, is that we are all both masculine and feminine. But when we are looking at somebody's chart, or when you're looking within your chart, just because you might have been biologically female, or you are biologically female, but your pronouns are he, him, you can still look at Venus and Jupiter for like everything. You don't have to just look at Jupiter for husband if you are biologically female, and you don't just have to look at Venus if you are biologically male. It can be whatever you want it to be, because we're here like supporting LGBTQ. Okay.
I have some Mercury Saturn stuff going on, so like I'm very like, stop yelling at me, okay?
Yelling at me.
Feminine and masculine. You know what the fuck I mean. Don't turn me into something, okay? Take it to Tumblr, bitch. Okay, leave me the fuck alone.
It's a Tumblr. It's all encompassing. You can look at Jupiter, Venus, and Mars. Okay.
Yeah, Chelsea says it in a much nicer way. I'm more like, bitch, shut up.
You know what I told you, Lena, it's good cop, bad cop here. This is like the match made in heaven. I don't know what we did to like earn this, but I'm happy about it.
Oh, thank God. No, but seriously, because I'll say like masculine and feminine, like you don't have to be a man to be masculine. You don't have to be a woman to be masculine. You don't have to be any of that. So that sometimes can get tricky, especially now because there's so much nuance that has to be done. But I'm very simple and straightforward. Like if it's not like, I'm not going to tiptoe around and come up with a bunch of new words. Like it's masculine and feminine.
Exactly. It's like, you guys understand what we're saying. Okay.
Right.
Like I'm not hating on anybody. It's fine.
Yeah. It's just way easier. Like it's just way easier to just call it what it is.
like let me pick the right words before I speak. It's hard, man. It's hard.
Right. Okay. So now before we did that, like we said earlier, that moons. So what I like to look for first in compatibility is, like I said, we like to look at them separately and then look at them together, but we're not going to do that whole dance just because like we'll be here forever.
Yeah. I'll see you at 2 a.m.
Right. Yeah. But one thing that I did want to say about Kourtney's chart, this is her chart. So she is, her Mercury is in the first house, and Mercury is actually the ruling planet of her 7th house because she is a Pisces rising. So it's really interesting that they all seem to pursue her. Like, and that's usually what happens when you have the ruling planet of your 7th house in the first, is that your partners are the ones who pursue you first, and they're the ones that kind of make the first move. So I get that vibe from her, that she's not like,
and she's saying that because the 7th house rules over your actual like contractual long-term relationships. It's not just about your marriages, it's any long-term relationship that you would consider on the same level as a marriage, like you would consider marrying them. So
yeah. So what houses do you feel like are the most important when it comes to romantic compatibility?
I would definitely say the 5th house is super important, because that's going to be how you experience like the fun parts of the relationship. And I'm all about having fun. Okay. 7th house, obviously. But if we're looking at like, let's say that somebody has a Pisces rising, or maybe a Leo rising, or any kind of zodiac energy, or a heavy natal placement that has like creative energy, or they even feel like very creative souls, then I would want to look at the third house for sure. And like the fifth house even more heavily than just the seventh house, because they're going to want creative expression within their relationship. Like they're going to want that to come. And then obviously like the second house and or Venus, because we want to see how they value the relationship, you know. But I guess it just depends on what's in the chart. It's so hard to tell, you know, like unless you have it in front of you, it's like, well, I don't really know. But I would base it first off of the rising sign and kind of get the vibe, because you're not going to like have the same approach if they're a Capricorn rising as you are if they're like a fucking Sagittarius rising. Like those are two very different people. So you're going to have to change what house is.
Right, 100%. And what you were saying, actually, you bring up a really good point. Like, if that's why it's so important to read people's individual charts before we start looking at them together. Because if you have somebody who has a Pisces Venus that makes a trine or an opposition to Neptune, where they have a really heavy Neptunian chart, they're going to really want that like 12th house action. So 12th house industry might not actually scare them. That's a whole damn, that's actually what we're going to talk about. Synastry.
Yeah, maybe this will be 3 hours.
I said that?
Installment number 1.
Yeah, I said that and I'm like, they might not know what that means. So when you have planets, so let's say that I am a Libra rising, which I am. Virgo rules my 12th house. So planets that, because the 12th house is such a karmic house, people who have 12th like Virgo placements, their planets fall into my 12th house, which activates a very karmic experience. Of course, it's not like every Virgo in the world, because that means every Virgo in the world is going to trigger me. And it's like, if you put me in the fucking padded room.
I am triggered by Virgos. I'm very triggered by Virgos, actually.
Chelsea's like, but wait a minute. No.
I fucking hate Virgos. I'm just kidding. We're all 12 signs.
No, fuck Cancer rising. No, I'm just kidding. Stop.
Yeah.
That was a joke. I love that.
Those are for the TikTok lives, okay? Save that for the lives. I love talking shit to their faces.
No, I'm kidding. I love them. Don't follow me. Okay.
Don't follow me. Thanks.
But when you have like when you come into a close relationship with somebody, your planets fall into people's houses, and yours and theirs and yours, and that's how you interact with each other. So for somebody who has like heavy Piscean placements, they might not be scared of someone's planets falling in their 12th house, because they're kind of used to that super heavy like energy anyway.
Definitely. And it's gonna vary depending on the rising sign. So definitely look at the rising sign first and kind of assess the energy of that zodiac sign. So go back and be like, okay, they're a Sagittarius rising. What does Sagittarius like encompass? It encompasses optimism. It encompasses, knowledge and teaching and learning. So if the first house, which is where your rising sign is all about their authentic energy out into the world, you need to know that is what they are looking for that's the type of energy that they're trying to attract on the opposite end. It's going to be Gemini energy, because it's on the other side. So they're going to need somebody that's really funny, or just people in general. It doesn't even have to be long-term relationships. So we're talking about relationships. They're going to need somebody that's very entertaining and that can connect with them on a communicative level. And you don't even have to look where Mercury is when they have placements like that, because you're like, oh, this person needs a lot of like intellectual stimulation, because that is what is sitting in their 7th house based off of their rising sign.
And it's cool that you say that, because her 5th house Jupiter. So it's very interesting. Jupiter does represent the husband, for male or female. So if you're looking for a husband, you would look at Jupiter. And her Jupiter is in the 5th house in Cancer, and Travis is a Cancer rising.
There you go.
Yeah.
Look, and there it is. Yeah.
And what's his name? The other one, Scott. I think he's like a Cancer Venus or something.
Yeah. It always works out like that, right? I mean, it doesn't always. I like to put it in the context of Jupiter doesn't necessarily represent the person as a whole. Like if you are a person searching for husband material, it doesn't represent that person as a whole. It represents how you perceive their role as your husband. So it sometimes a lot of times they won't have their big 3 within like if they have a Jupiter in Cancer, they're not going to have their big 3 in Cancer. That doesn't mean that they're not the one. It just means that you perceive their role in your life as the Cancer energy.
Right. So it's so cute. It's actually, that's a good point, because her 5th house, Jupiter in Cancer, Travis is very fun. Yeah. He teaches her how to have fun. He's like, let's play music, let's take pictures, let's get creative, let's change your clothes, whatever. But not in the Kanye, like, I'm gonna change your outfit. you know, like in the fun, like let's play dress up, kind of cute, romantic way.
Yeah.
And he's also very nurturing to the family. Like he loves her kids, and he was a family friend way before he was like a part of their relationship. So that's a really good point that you make. It doesn't have to be their sign, it's just their energy. And that's a really cool point I want to make about like love astrology too, is if you want to like looking for more serious, like committed relationships, I would whatever the fuck.
Gag, bitch.
Stop smoking, bitch. You're out here.
Gag is one gag per video. At least.
Welcome.
I'm gonna start putting up like a 2 girls and a galaxy, guys. Okay. We didn't think about it before we said it, but I love it, honestly. Now I'm gonna start putting up like a gag counter every video. We both got GERD. Okay.
This video is sponsored by Adam and Eve.
Oh my God. See, we couldn't post stuff like this on TikTok, not even YouTube. Like YouTube would not allow this either. So like, what are we supposed to do?
Monetize so fast.
Let us be ourselves.
We're having so much fun. We should put this on YouTube. This should be a free video.
I know, we probably should. They're gonna take it down within 10 minutes.
Fuck that. Okay. Okay, so yeah. What else? Wait, what else did you want to talk about?
Don't exit out of it. I wanted to mention how it's not ironic, because nothing in astrology is ironic, but Pisces is so heavily linked to like dancing and music. So it's really not surprising that her as a Pisces rising is attracted to somebody who is a singer, because it's literally like the concept of the music is on her ascendant, which is all about her authentic energy. So even though it like looks weird from the outside to people, to me, it's giving me the indication. It's like, no, that is like perfect. That's like perfect for her. So people being like, oh my God, she's just trying to be with like a rock star or a bad boy. No, she literally feels her authentic energy within music. And so if she's attracted to his music, like that's just a perfect flow. It makes sense astrologically.
I think it's also because the ruler of her 7th house is in Aries, that she likes that bad boy energy. Because even Scott was like, he was in his little golf shorts.
Bow tie, just fucking shit up.
Right, but he was still a bad boy. Like he's still drinking and partying and had his temper and had his problem. She likes that. And it's interesting how like now with Travis, it's flipped, where he still has that bad boy energy, but it's external.
Right. Exactly.
Like he's not drinking and smoking and cheating, but he's got the tattoos and the care. So I like it. I'm really happy for her.
Yeah. And you know what? Her Neptune is retrograde, right? I can't really see. I don't have my glasses on.
Yeah, it's
retrograde in Sagittarius. And this is another important thing to be looking at in the chart, is like if the other person has planets in retrograde, because like for instance, I'll get to the Neptune part here in a second, but if one person has a retrograding Mercury in their chart and another person does not, Mercury is all about your communication style. So if the retrograded Mercury person goes within, that's what it is. It's about reflecting. Then they're not going to come right out and like want to talk to you and talk things out. Whereas the other Mercury who's direct is going to be like, why can't we talk about it right now? So you have to understand that like, there's just two different things that you can't really change. You just have to compromise. So when her having her Neptune retrograding, it's just like big life lessons and like slowly growing into this higher version of herself and being comfortable and probably expressing that Piscean authentic first house energy. So it just makes sense that this took a while for her to come to a person that's just like he is, you know?
Yeah. And
it's like her authentic self.
Let me see what her Mercury is doing.
Her Mercury first house, and her Mercury's at a critical degree.
Yeah,
the Aries energy. Yeah, the critical degrees, guys, are the 0 degrees, and it's like very fresh and new energy, and in a symbolic way it's very much like life lessons, whereas her Aries is
Aries rules her second house.
Yeah, thank you. You know, I use whole sign. I fucking hate I hate Placidus so much.
I could put it in a whole sign.
No, it's okay. It doesn't. I know a lot of people view it more in Placidus anyway. It's okay. But that's just like very new karmic lessons that she has to learn, especially about communication and communication with the Aries energy, probably in her partner. So I don't know what Scott's chart looks like, but the Aries energy is unsurprising. That's like a lot of chaos to try and like get a hold of within this life with that energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and she has her Venus, and so it's interesting because her Venus and Mercury are technically conjunct by degree, but not by sign.
Exactly. It's weird. It's such a weird vibe, and it's so confusing too for her because of the Pisces energy, you know.
I love that Mercury Mars. She does not give a fuck. She will tell you all.
She really does not. She's like, whatever. Whatever. Yeah, Kim. That's so interesting.
I love looking at the Kardashians charts individually because they all have their own separate brand of like mommy issues.
Oh, I know. And that's what I'm saying about like the role of that. Hold on. Like I was saying about the Jupiter and the husband role and how they are perceived. And that is like when people are like, well, my sibling has the moon in Aries and I have the moon in Aquarius, and like we have the same mom. And it's like, yeah, your perception of her role in your life was based off of that.
Right.
It's no different in synastry.
100%. Yeah. Let's look at Travis's role.
Yeah. What's he got going on?
Dude, that fucking makes so much sense. That Scorpio 5th house sun, like that makes so much sense. The guy's a drummer.
Yeah. That's crazy. Oh my gosh.
Scorpio, 9th house Aries moon.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful Libra Venus. You know, that's beautiful. So she has a Pisces Venus, which is exalted, and he has a Libra Venus in domicile.
That's crazy.
Yeah. His Mars is, I don't like Cancer Mars. I hate Cancer Mars. Men. I don't like it in men.
What is her Mars sign again? Go back really quick.
I want to say hers is in Aries.
And his Mars is in
Cancer.
So that's an interesting, like, so when you're looking at, so he has his Mars in Aries and she has, her Mars is in Aries and his Mars is in Cancer. What's interesting when you're looking at that, when we're talking about like the whole, not how you communicate, but how you argue and how like you butt heads, that's kind of the Mars energy. It's about how you take action involving your relationship. And so this is where it becomes important to look at it separately, because a Mars and Aries person is going to be the one that immediately tries to take action about something in the relationship, whereas a Mars and Cancer is going to kind of put up their defenses if they feel attacked. So this is probably the area of life where they will have to really work hard to understand each other, because one of them is Kourtney is going to be the one that's like, let's solve this. I want to like talk about this. And Travis will go into his shell, the Cancer shell, and be like, I'm not ready. I need to reflect on it. So that's probably a struggle point for them.
So the interesting thing about like knowing the squares and how they play out, I have a 7th house moon. I have a 7th house Aries moon. So I naturally always attract Cancer placements. I didn't know this until I started doing astrology.
Yeah.
Every single one of my long-term does not matter. Somewhere it's been in their chart. When you have an Aries moon or when you have an Aries placement and the other person has Cancer, the square is not it's weird because they both want to like fight, but in their own special way. So when you have a Cancer Mars, I've heard it as putting the housewife in a battlefield.
Oh yes. You know? Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, bitch, I want to bake cookies, bitch. I don't want to, like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, but when you have an Aries Mars, like, and Mars rules over Aries. So it's like, I liken it to going to your Publix. Like, you know where everything is. You go, you get your fish, you get your things, you're out, you're in, out, because Mars knows what to do when it's in the sign of Aries.
Mm-hmm.
When it's in the sign of Cancer, when the Cancer Mars gets provoked, it does what a crab likes to do. It likes to scuttle away and like hide in its shell and come back out when everything's blown over. This is why when my ex-boyfriend walked away from me in the middle of a fight, I chased him in the middle of the street with no fucking pants on, because you walk away from an Aries moon, Gemini Mars in the middle of the fight. This is why I can't do Cancer placement.
My Mars Capricorn could never. It would just be like, nah, bitch, you sleep on the I'm here. I'm not moving. I own this land. That's fucking Capricorn, bitch.
See, but that's so interesting, because you see how the squares work differently. If you have an Aries Cancer square, the Cancer will run away. If you have an Aries Capricorn square, you better fucking move, because shit's about to shake.
Exactly. It's fucking wild. Man, I wish that is there a way to look at midpoints on AstroSeek? Because I have a way to look at it. Oh, there it is. Sun, moon. Yeah. I think the sun moon midpoint is so important. And this is a little bit more of an advanced technique, but since we are later in the video, I think we can go ahead and mention it for people who are astro baddies and will understand this. It's really the midpoint is going to be really important to find within both charts. Everybody has one between their sun and moon. Well, there's lots of different midpoints. We're talking about the sun and moon. And so what is she's showing right here is that for Kourtney, is this Kourtney?
So partner A is Kourtney.
It's Kourtney. Okay, yeah. Oh, I see. There we go.
Yeah.
So for Kourtney's midpoint, if you'll hover it over the sun and moon so they know what we're talking about. Her midpoint from the sun to moon is 4 degrees of Pisces. So what you're going to do is you're going to take that 4 degrees of Pisces, go to Travis's chart and see where that lies for him, what house, and if there's planets forming to it. And you can get a little bit more of a precise look as to like what is driving within their relationship. So is this his?
Yeah. Oh my God, it's conjunct his part of fortune.
There you go. So it's literally bringing him prosperity and fulfillment within life. That's what the part of fortune is about. And so, yeah, so go to his midpoint, his sun moon midpoint.
So his sun moon midpoint, I want to say is, let's go down. No!
Oh no.
I got so scared. It's hard. I was like, stop what video? Aquarius. So
is that 1 degree of Aquarius? Where's her Aquarius?
So her Aquarius is gonna be
me just sitting here ordering you around. So it's happening. It's just that's happening within her 12th house, which means that she feels a connection to her higher self through him, because Aquarius energy is also about like connecting with people and networking. So it is kind of even like a little bit of a business relationship, but it's sitting in the 12th house, which is more about the higher purpose. So that is very much gluing them together. Like they are both making each other very happy.
His is at 1 degree Aquarius, right?
Yeah. So, was this not her chart?
Oh no, this is hers.
Yeah, this is her chart. Yeah. So it's at 1 degree of Aquarius. It's sitting right over there in the 12th house.
Interesting.
So the sun moon midpoint is a great way to kind of look at the overall, again, kind of like the tone, but it's more of like looking at, okay, everybody has glue within their relationship. Is the glue thin or is it thick? Like, is it sitting in a place where it's like beneficial based off of, and what I mean is like, so she's a Pisces rising. So the Pisces energy traditionally rules over the 12th house. So since his midpoint is sitting in her 12th house, it's very much fueling the fire to her ascendant as well as the 12th house. It's like connecting them together and giving it a soul purpose within the relationship. So this one's probably going to last. I think they'll probably, I mean, it looks good to me. Her sun is in Aries. Where is his sun again? Scorpio?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, he's a Scorpio sun at the 22nd. Damn, he's remember that he had that big plane crash.
Oh shit! Oh
he's
my God, astrology is wild.
That's crazy. Yeah. Where he lost his friend.
Yeah,
his best friend DJ AM, who was a DJ with him. A male. Oh my God, he lost a male son, Scorpio, in his life that was creative with him. 5th house.
That's crazy. I'm telling you, astrology is so wild. People are always like, well, based off your sun sign. I'm like, you bitches don't even know what you're missing out on.
You don't even know, bitch.
You don't even know.
So the 22nd degree is called the kill or be killed degree. I don't want to scare people also because I'm not super into degree theory like that, but that is pretty intense.
Yeah, you guys can look into it. We're more of the let's like rainbows and
lab.
Butterflies. Okay. But and that's what I'm saying is like, you wouldn't even think looking at their sun signs just on its own that they would have this amazing synastry that they do within their charts. And that's why it's so important to not just look at the sun and the moon and the elements that are involved, but to look at the whole picture. Like I cannot stress that enough to people.
Yeah, it's really, really, especially, let me see, actually, I want to see something real quick. I like to look at what the ruling planet of each person's 7th house is doing in synastry.
Good idea.
And then I like to see what it's doing in composite. So his is Capricorn. I'm sorry, his is Saturn because the ruling planet of his. It actually makes sense that, oh my God, her Capricorn moon falls in his 7th.
Wait, we can't see it. You might want to unzoom it because it's doing that thing again.
Sorry. Oh, maybe it's a different.
Yeah, you have the.
Can you not?
There we go.
Okay, cool. Let's go back. Here we go. So the moon, well, this is in Placidus. If we put it in whole sign.
Yeah, put it as whole sign's a little bit easier for people to view too.
Yeah. Let's still, here we go. Better. So her Capricorn moon, because he's a Cancer rising, any Capricorn placements fall into his 7th house of. So when we say that planets are falling into your house or planets are in someone's houses, like I said earlier, it's because like if you have a 7th house ruled by Capricorn, that means that you're probably going to fall into long-term relationships with people who have either Capricorn energy or they have Capricorn in their charts.
Yeah, it's the energy that you attract.
Right. So the moon, the 7th house moon, is actually one of the top placements that we see in terms of long-term compatibility for people who are in relationships, because this is, you just understand each other emotionally and like in one-to-one compatibility.
Yeah,
really cute.
And also, like, just little side note, since the 7th house does rule over just like any type of long-term emotional relationship, this can also be applied to like friends. So like if friends have their moons falling, they're probably going to be a lifelong friend for you. Or there's going to be like some type of bond that is made. Yeah,
definitely. I have lots of friends who have like Venus placing, or shut up, Aries placing.
Shut up. Don't talk to my friend that way.
Literally. Nice. Okay, so is there anything in particular that you want to look at, like their like moons, their Mars, their Venuses?
What is our time? What are we at? Because I know we have to keep it at a certain time level, but I guess we're okay. I think one of just my main things is because I'm a very like, I love traditional astrology and I love like anything about karma. So I want to kind of look at the Saturn placements. Goddamn flies won't leave me alone. I want to see their Saturn stuff that's going on, because Saturn is going to be a great indication of like whether they are not necessarily a negative karmic partner or a positive one, but you can kind of see the tone of how that karma connection, because everybody you encounter is a karmic soulmate. However, you have really tight soul contracts with people that you end up in long-term relationships with. So you can kind of see the lessons that they might be teaching you. Yeah. So see this square, they might have struggles. Let's see. Wait, hold on. Wait, that's the sun.
So the thing is here, it's by degree, not by sign.
Okay. I'm confused. Hold on. So, the sun is squaring, the Saturn. I gotcha. I was just thinking about, their Saturn versus Saturn. Like how much of an age gap do they have?
Oh, they're only 4 years apart.
Okay. So they have the same Saturn placement. Okay. So hold on. Scroll up.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. See, the conjunctions are going to be the conjunctions and squares.
So his Saturn.
There we go. That's easier for me to, it's so hard for me to view text. I can't, because I don't have my glasses on. Like I refuse to wear them because I'm not old.
You
I'm just kidding. I'm older than Lina.
I'm
just kidding. I'm older than. I just don't like it because I have thing about my face being touched. Okay. Scroll down a little bit. That's easier.
The video is over. We made it all the way until
this partnership is done. Thank you. I'm just kidding. I need to wear them. I just don't like to wear them. They hurt my fucking face. Okay. Scroll. I know. I'm too lazy to go to the eye doctor again. Scroll down. I can't see it.
Her Jupiter is also at a critical degree, and her Mercury is too.
Is it? Yeah. Where's the Saturns? There's Saturn. Oh wait, one's in a retrograde. Wait. Oh, there it is. Okay. One's so, and this is what I'm talking about. So, who is on the inside?
Kourtney's on the inside.
Kourtney. Okay. So this is the one that she's on hovering on top of is Kourtney's Saturn. And this is when retrogrades come like big time. Okay. They come into play really, really big. Usually people who have a retrograding Saturn, and especially since it's sitting within her 7th house of long-term partnerships, it might take a while to find the true karmic partner. And then his Saturn is sitting over here, aspecting her 6th house and not in a retrograde. So it's not necessarily that he takes a long time to find love, but it is more of like, if you can kind of see it as a business relationship as well, or like meeting somebody at work, because the 6th house is very much about meeting somebody within your job. If we're talking just the karmic connection. So for her, he is serving this like, very much incorporating into the daily living type of stuff, because 6th house is also about like your daily routines, your daily work, and like motivation for health, diet, exercise, nutrition. He is serving that karma into her 6th house because of the Saturn placement over her 6th house. And what she is doing for him is, because you see the 3 that is sitting next to her retrograded Saturn. It's so her Saturn is going through his 3rd house, and the 3rd house is all about communication, and it's about interaction. It's about the superficial mind and being able to make decisions. But just overall how you interact with society, on a very like up here level and not necessarily subconscious level. So she's like serving him the karma of like, hey, well, like we need to go outside and like we need to interact with people and we need to try and fix this communication style. On a separate like retrograded Saturn point for her, it's unsurprising that she did have such a long like karmic tie to Scott, because retrogrades cause reflections. And if Saturn is a representation of your karma within your relationship, when it's in the 7th house, relationships can take a really long time to develop, a really long time to break. So if you have Saturn sitting in the 7th house, or if you have Saturn sitting in the 5th house, and especially if it's retrograde, it might take a while for your relationships to develop. And it's like this long drawn out process already, because it takes extra long, not just like this whole Saturn 29.5 year thing. It takes fucking forever. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, her chart actually gives me lots of hope, because she's like in her 40s right now and she's just now falling in love, like truly that freedom. One thing I like too is that his Saturn in her sixth, his sky in her sixth, I feel like it's really giving her kind of more structure in her day-to-day, because with Scott it was very like, is he drunk today, is he sleeping, like what is he doing, like it was very like there wasn't really a sense of like structure and discipline. And I feel like with Travis it's very, this is just a vibe I'm getting from their relationship. I don't know them personally, but I feel like it's a lot of the same thing every day, but in a good thing, like in a good way. Like she knows what to expect from him every day. She knows that she'll get a text message from him every morning and he'll be there every night. Like it's more, yeah. So I like that for them. And also I feel like she puts more like structure to his ideas.
Exactly. Yeah. It doesn't just like, I was just talking about the karma, but she's 100% right, guys. In that Saturn's main purpose, like other than like the spiritual aspect of it, is to provide structure and to provide foundations for the other person, like things that may force you to do anything. It rules over like government. So that is a fantastic take. Yeah. I didn't even think about the whole structure of it, because I'm just so spiritual now.
That's why there's 2 of us.
I'm so spiritual, but that is such a great point. You can see how you will provide structure, what area of life you will provide structure for your partner based off of where Saturn sits in their chart.
Yeah. And it's pretty intense here. It falls in her, his Saturn falls in her 6th.
Yeah. Her, wait, is it the other way around?
I don't know.
No, she's the outside. She's the blue. Right? Yeah, she's blue. He's orange. So her Saturn is falling in his 3rd house and his Saturn is falling in her 6th house. That's what it's saying. Planets in partner's house.
Yeah, her moon in his 7th, her Mercury in his 10th, her Venus in his 9th. That's so interesting because, wow. So that's wild. So her Venus being in his 9th house, the first time he got on a plane after this plane crash, he did not travel. He did not do anything overseas. He would take boats. He would go like take tour buses. After this accident, he never got on a plane. Like he literally, like he had 3rd-degree burns on like 80% of his body. Like the guy was almost dead.
Yeah.
The first time he got on a plane was with Kourtney.
Aw, she's literally like getting him motivated. She's talking about that 9th house. You're talking about the 9th house, right?
Yeah, the 9th house Venus.
Yeah. So 9th house and Sagittarius rule over like flight and taking trips. So her sun kind of helping that along is like shining a light on it and giving like the courage, because the sun also is about your heart and it's about your bravery. And so like literally fueling his bravery to overcome that. That's really cute. I love that.
Yeah, they do have lots of like 9th house stuff both ways. So it's really cute that they were able to like open each other's eyes up to like traveling again. That's really sweet.
Yeah, I love that a lot. That's a great chart. Yeah, I think that one's going to be very long lasting. They connect and it seems like they will have struggles. I think they probably argue like a bitch, but I think that they're good.
Yeah, remember how I said that like I like to look at the rulers of each other's 7th houses to see what they're doing. So her Jupiter is in Cancer, is by degree, which is actually, I still really count this because they're only 3 degrees apart.
Yeah.
So hers is, oh no, it's Mercury. Fuck, I got too excited.
Oh wait.
And I got really excited. It's Mercury.
Dang. That's so okay.
Pumped. Let me see if Mercury and Saturn are doing anything.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cute.
That's even better, honestly. That's even better. We love to see the word trine on synastry charts.
Yeah. So can you explain that a little bit? Like what a trine is?
Yeah, trines
Like,
are, guys, trines are like the highest creative, positive, free flowing energy that you can have in any chart, whether it's your natal chart or a synastry chart. It provides like really big luck and abundance pretty much no matter which planet it is, because there are malefic planets, which are like not the good ones, and then benefic planets, which are the beneficial ones. It doesn't really matter which one it is. If you see trine or if you see blue in your chart, it's a good start. And those houses and the planets involved will experience a lot of luck and abundance.
yeah. And her ruling planet of her 7th house, because she's a Pisces rising, it's Mercury. And so Mercury is making a trine to his Saturn in Leo, which is the ruling planet of his 7th house. He's a Cancer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a very, and on the karmic level, if you're spiritual, that's good. That's a really good positive karmic partnership. So even though they might have struggles, it is going to be one that is providing more of the good karmic connection than it is the negative one. Like if we would have seen a square here, it wouldn't have helped his communication. It would have broken it down.
Right. It would have hindered it. And that's a whole separate video. We're gonna have to make like a whole series on this.
I know we've already gone way too long.
Yeah, because it's so much fun. Like it is. Oh, this is fun. Like I don't feel like I'm working right now.
I'm telling you, this gotta be like a podcast thing. Like that's gonna have to be what it is.
It has to be, because this is not gonna work. I can't make people pay $20
for this. I think it's good though, because this is a great way to like, we are explaining it through use of examples, but I mean, truly, you have all of the tools now with Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, the moon, Saturn. You know what you're looking for. You just want to see side by side how you guys are as individuals and make a priority list or a basic needs list. And then you can get into the more complex things where you're like, okay, well, if my Jupiter is in Cancer and you are a Cancer rising, that means my Jupiter is sitting in your 1st house. So the way I'm going to expand and help you learn is going to be literally involving yourself, because that's what the 1st house is about. That's how you combine the things and you look at synastry.
Yeah. So this is definitely more of like an intermediate video. This is like a beginner intermediate video, because what you're saying about the priorities list is so important. That's actually one thing that I do with my clients a lot. Like when they want to talk about love, I'm like, okay, well, then we need to, we're not going to be able to get you what you're looking for if you don't know what you want. Exactly. So it's important for you to look at your chart to understand, because some people, they think they want something. Like I have a friend who, her friends are all like, go on Tinder, go on this, go on she has a Venus and Mars conjunction in Cancer. She knows.
I'm also really quick. I'm glad you mentioned that, because the timing of like when you're looking for love, the weirdest thing I've been seeing lately is like transits through the 11th house, because 11th house rules technology, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm online dating, and I'm like, yeah, it's because you have like Jupiter moving through your 11th house right now and you're feeling like, like lucky. Okay. So sometimes the current transits of Venus, if you were trying to get out there and date people, you want to look at like the rulers of maybe your 5th house, or if you want to look at the rulers of your 7th house and your 11th house. And if you have like lucky planets moving through it, meaning like Jupiter and Venus and maybe even Mercury, then you know that those houses are going to be lighting up for you while they're transiting through those zodiac signs that ruled those houses for you.
Yeah. And it's a really good predictive technique too, to look at, like, if you're having problems, like I was having a really tough time in my relationship, with an S, because I broke up with both my boyfriends at the same time, bitch. It was awful. And you know what's terrible is they're like, be a hoe, be a hoe, be a hoe. Yeah, bitch. So you're crying over 3 men at the same time.
Exactly. Instead of one. Way to go. Good job. Nailed it.
if you can look, I looked at his birth chart, and he has Pluto squaring his Juno in Libra. I'm a Libra rising. Yeah. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. So it's supposed to know what you're looking at. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. So you guys can also use this, not just like if you have a partner, but if you are looking for the timing of a partner. There are other techniques that you can use that we're not going to get into today, but there's a timing structure that you can do, and it's even like it's free online. So maybe we'll make that into another video. But you can 100% time it and see like when windows of opportunity can come up for you. And also, like we said, at the end of the day, what you're looking for and what your long-term partnership is going to be reflecting is going to be mainly what is within your 7th house, because that's the energy you're attracting, and the tone of your marriage is going to be what your Venus is, and if it's in like positive or negative like type of aspects. And then if you're looking for communication style, again, everything we've already said, that's how you can simplify it and it doesn't feel so overwhelming. It's just breaking it down yourself.
This should be like our second video. I think we should do another video like tomorrow
Of the basics.
Yeah, how to look at your own chart.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be the first. This is gonna be, you'll be fine.
That's what I was fixing to say. I was like, guys, like this is just like we're testing the waters here and talking about something that we really like, but we're gonna put out like loads of videos. So you will be able to pick and choose if this is not like the level that you are at, and you can always come back to the video once you have like a lot of the basics down. But guys, I'm like, every time we try to post educational content, like it gets taken down. So like we can't post it like for free. It's just not possible anymore. So,
and I can't talk about like, you're not 10. You're not like a child. We can talk about Mars and sex. Like, no, we need to pay. You have a job. We have a job. We can all afford it.
You know, if you want the content, you're gonna have to buy it. Okay. It's really hard for us out here.
No, but it's like, it's cute, you know, support your stuff, because we do this a lot. We give a lot of information, you know, and I enjoy doing this.
I do too.
I want it to be accessible for other people too, because it's helped me so much. And I think it can help a lot of people.
Exactly. And I see astrologers, especially on TikTok, that are charging like ridiculous amounts of money. And it's like, that's not feasible for people and it should not just be available to people who have money. Like everyone deserves it. But we do still have to pay our light bill. So
you're so right. I'm not even going to hate. I can't hate from outside the club because I can't even get it. So.
I got no money to get in the club right now.
Yeah. I'm like, whatever, girl, charge your $100 for your.
Oh my God. I love that we are so different at the same time of being like so the same. It's hilarious to me.
Yeah, because Chelsea has like this whole like kumbaya. I'm like, I want to get my ass cheeks tan in the Bahamas. Like,
I mean, don't get me wrong, I will be there too, but then I want everybody, all those other bitches, to like be able to time it and then come with us too, because I'm all about the women. Okay. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about? Because we've been going for a really long time and this is going to take forever to upload, so we might want to cut it off now.
Okay, we didn't even touch like we started, we got like halfway. We got some cute things in there.
We got cute stuff. We can do installments though. I mean, because like I said, like we're not charging like hundreds of dollars. Like we can do installments and it's easy for people to retain information in different sections, you know.
Okay.
We ranted a little bit, so we have to come back.
Yeah. We started talking about stuff. We were like, they don't care about this.
They don't care about this. So oh gosh.
Okay. So I think this is a kind of a good place to end it.
Mm-hmm. I think we can end it right here. And we covered a lot, but guys, we did kind of honestly just skim the surface. And so this might be one of the topics that we have to do like multiple installments, multiple videos of, but there's lots of other topics that would not take more than one video to tackle. This is just like, we of course had to swing for the fence first right out the gate because we're overachievers.
Yeah, because synastry is very complex, like synastry. And I think this is why this is more of like a video for people who've been following us, who know a little bit about what they're talking about. This is like intermediate stuff, because it does require a lot of like kind of, it's like your knowledge you built upon. So, you know, it does require a lot of knowing of the basics, the houses, what the houses represent, the planets, what they represent. So this is more of an intermediate video. If you've made it through the video so far, congratulations. You've definitely learned something by now.
Yes.
So maybe for future videos, we'll actually go into like what the houses mean, what the planets mean, and like what aspects actually mean representative to each other, as opposed, so when you're looking at a chart, you know what you're looking at.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you guys so much. Keep an eye on our links because we will be uploading videos like this pretty consistently as much as we can. We do live the mom life, so
and we live far away from each other, so there's a coordinate.
Exactly. Life's a struggle right now, but thank you guys so much for buying it and viewing it. And you can always like message us on TikTok or comment, and we can try and get to those comments as well. If you have confusion, of course. Maybe not Lina. Lina will be like, Google it, bitch.
I will literally be like, get the fuck out of my comment section, bitch.
You have everyone though. Okay. All right, guys. We'll see y'all in the next one.
All right. Thank you for watching Two Girls in a Galaxy.
T-gag, bitch.
T-gag, bitch. I'm Lina, and this is Chelsea.
I'm Chelsea, yeah.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.